Well, we need to talk. We need to talk about this. And I cannot wait to talk to y'all about this because I know I'm not the only one who feels this way. Welcome back to the Save the Good Girl podcast. For those who are new, welcome to Bliss. Welcome to your luxury listening experience. I'm so happy to have you. Check me out on SaveTheGoodGirl.com. Check out the blog and check out other episodes of the podcast. Make sure that you catch up. It is wonderful. It is lit. It is enriching. I'm just telling you, it's just luxury all around. So, you know how sometimes we feel like, oh, when this happens, I'll be happy. Or if this happens, I'll be happy. Or when I feel this way, I'll be happy. And it's kind of like, will you though? Will you really be happy? Will you really be in joy? There's some things that I feel about this and I want to talk about it with you guys because I'm like, are we doing ourselves a disservice by not really being present? Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it because I was like, ooh, So before we get started, I have a really nice announcement, which is Save the Good Girl is now back on YouTube. I'm really excited for this because I was on YouTube before. And then when I came back again this year, I didn't upload all my videos there because I figured I have so many other platforms. However, YouTube is trying to come back and they're trying to take over the podcasting game. So I decided that it would be a great idea to put my episodes on there. But even prior to all of that, I was actually getting a lot of responses from people asking me, like, do you have your podcast on YouTube? Do you have it on YouTube? Do you have it on YouTube? So I'm like, I need to get it back on YouTube. So I spent a whole 2 days uploading all of the episodes that I recently did on YouTube as well. So it's just another way for you to listen. And any chance I can get to make this very convenient for you to get all of this luxury content, I am going to do so. So, yes, STGG is on YouTube. And y'all, don't forget, I am on Apple, I am on Spotify, I am on Amazon, I am on Pandora, I am on Google, and I'm also on my website, savethegoodgirl.com. So any way you feel like listening is your choice. Now, I also have heard people really love listening to the podcast from my website because it's so aesthetically pleasing. And I love that because I worked so hard on the website and I'm so happy that it's translating to a sense of luxury because it feels like you just came from a resort. And I love that. So you guys have so many wonderful ways to listen, so many wonderful ways for you to catch up, and my social media. Make sure you guys check that out too. But when it comes to the podcast and also the blog, everything is on SaveTheGoodGirl.com and newly added YouTube. Before YouTube, what was newly added was Pandora. So Pandora's has Save the Good Girl and all the other sites as well. So check me out, subscribe, follow, ring the bell notifications, whatever platform you have, just make sure you're following Save the Good Girl so you know every single time I drop. Speaking of which, so I come out with new episodes every Tuesday at 12 a.m. and every Friday at 12 a.m. And my blog post is every Saturday at 9 a.m. So every week I'm dropping new things for y'all. Just quality, just luxury, because that's exactly what you deserve. So I just want to give you guys a quick STGG update. And now we're going to get into this topic. Recently, I was in therapy. And for those who are in therapy, by the way, just to let you guys know a little sneak peek, I am working on some really, really, really good content in regards to that. And I cannot wait to share that with you guys. I'm just working on it right now. But for those who are in therapy, have you ever went to a session thinking you're going to talk about one thing, right? You have like a couple of things on your mind, and then it switches to something totally different, totally different. So when I went to my session, I had a couple of things I was ready to talk to her about, certain things I want to discuss, emotions, some hurdles, etc. Like I had a whole thing ready for her. And also, guys, look out for me doing an episode about how to prepare for therapy. I'm going to help you guys out with that. Certain things that I've done that's helping me, I can definitely share with you guys to help you guys as well. So I'm in a session and she asked me how I was doing. And I said, I'm doing I'm doing I'm doing okay, right? I'm like, "I'm doing okay." She's like, "What happened?" And I'm just like, I'm a little frustrated about this. And I just feel like when this happens, I'm going to be so much happier. And if this happens, I'll be so much happier because right now I'm so annoyed. But the truth is, I know that once this happens, I'm going to feel so much better. And then once I have this, I'll feel great. And then once I have my husband, I'll feel better. And then once I have this, I'll feel great. And I'm just like, just going off a tangent. And then she says to me, "You have an if and when attitude. If this happens, when this happens, I'll be happy." And what you're doing is you're robbing yourself of experiencing happiness and joy right now because you're so focused on the journey to get to that place that today you just simply can't be happy because you're not where you want to be and etc. And I was like, "What?" It's like, "Girl, what?" And then the conversation went to, I think that you might have a challenge with acceptance. I'm like, accept like when I tell y'all, when I go to therapy, I come with everything loaded. I'm ready to go. Okay. I like to organize my thoughts as much as I possibly can because therapy is only an hour. So it's like, I got to say some things. So when she said that to me, I'm like, wow, I did not think about it like that. But I do. I do have an if and when attitude. And I think that we, most of us do, right? We just feel like in this present circumstance, there's something that's not right. And we do feel that once this is together, I'm going to be happy. And I had information residue. And what information residue is after you've heard something or had a really deep conversation with somebody, or maybe a session with the therapist, or a deep conversation with a friend, or etc., is when you are thinking and ruminating about that thought for like days, right? So I was really thinking about it and I'm like, wow, do I really do that? Like, do I do that a lot? And is that's what's making me a little sad and having a slight depression because I'm not fully present? I thought I was. I thought I was present. But maybe I'm not emotionally present, but I'm like physically present. So I'm going through all of these things in my mind. And I remember in 2017, I took a trip to Aruba and it was a big trip. Like all my friends, it was wonderful. And I had such a great time. And I remember it was one day that I woke up at 5 o'clock in the morning. All my friends were sleeping, and I took a shuttle to the private beach because we were in a resort that had like a private beach area, and they had shuttles that takes you there like every 15 minutes. So I woke up early. It was the last day of the trip. And I had an amazing time. When I tell you I had an amazing time on that trip, I had an amazing time from the beginning to the end. So I go on the boat and I'm in solitude. I bring my journal with me. I have my pen with me, and it's just me because it's like 5:45 in the morning, right? There's nobody really there. So I get to the beach, and I'm looking at the water, and the first thing I said was, "I'm not happy." I didn't understand why because during this time, I was losing weight. I was performing extremely well at my job. I actually recently got promoted. I'm making all these bonuses. I'm making money. I'm on this wonderful trip with my friends and my family. I'm loved. I am enjoying the trip from beginning to end. I loved it. Everything was going so well. And I was confused because I'm like, I'm not happy. And I attributed that to me being single at the time. And I just felt like another year and I'm single and I'm just not happy. Then I started questioning, do I like what I'm doing with this job? Why do I feel weird? Why do I feel off? Like I'm succeeding. Things are going well. I'm making my bonuses. I had a wonderful review and things are going phenomenal. And my conclusion to all of that is that I'm not happy. So I remember thinking to myself, when I get my man, I'm going to be so happy because that is the last piece of the puzzle that I want to complete. And when he comes and he's here, I'm going to be ecstatic because I was tired of dating and going through heartbreak. And, sometimes you can meet really wonderful people. They're really, really great people, but they're just not the person for you. So just going through the motions, I was really upset about it. And to be honest, when it comes to dating, I'm very I'm very sensitive. So it's like it takes me some time to get over people, and I need to work on that. But it's like I am I'm an intellect, I'm a thinker, and I overthink, and I have anxiety, and it's a lot of different things going on, right? But I remember just feeling like that, and I'm just like, it did rob me because I remember, like, I didn't even share this with my friends at the time and my family, but I remember, like, we got on the plane and that was on my mind. I was sad. And this ties into the birthday episode I recently did with the birthday reflections, lessons, and projections. If you have not listened to that, please take a listen to that birthday episode, especially if your birthday is coming up. But to be honest with you, you don't have to have a birthday to listen. You really don't. But I I realized that I definitely robbed myself of joy during that time. And I wasn't present, you know? And I'm just overthinking about all the things that I want to do and all the things that I didn't do because it didn't happen yet. But once this happens, I'm going to feel great. But I didn't. And I realized not only was I doing this when it comes to my romantic portion of my life, I actually was doing this in a lot of other areas too. So romantically, I definitely had thoughts of when I finally get my person, I'll be happier. And I do want to add that when you finally do find your person and you are happy with this person, you trust this person, you're vulnerable with this person, you feel safe with this person, you can be yourself with this person, you value what they have to say, your values are aligned, there's no anxiety with this person. I was telling my friend recently, like, I'm going to know when this guy is for me because it's going to be easy. There's not going to be any question of whether he likes me or not, interested or not, how he feels or not. When you finally meet somebody who is emotionally available, somebody who has your best interest, somebody who's not petty, somebody who, like just makes you feel safe and you can finally be in your feminine energy around this person or your masculine energy, right? This is for everybody. So I do feel that when I find somebody who is my partner, who is for me, I do believe that it will unlock another level of joy because I am such a I love love. I love love. I love seeing people in love. I love talking about love. Like I could do a whole podcast about love. Like I love it. I love it. And I think it's beautiful and I think it's wonderful to have somebody who's your partner who really loves you and who's protective over you and who values you and just treats you like a delicate flower but respects you like a partner. Somebody who gets along with your friends and family. Somebody who is just really for you and you are really for them. Everything that I'm saying I want to give. I want to be vulnerable. I want to be there for my partner. I want to strategize with my partner. I want to value what you have to say. I want to hug you. I want to have experiences with you. So I do believe it will unlock a different level. But I will say during that time, it definitely robbed me because I'm just like another year and another year and it affected me a few weeks after my birthday. And when I thought about doing that birthday episode, I thought about that time. I'm like, yo, this really affected me. It really, really affected me. And I think another area where I have a problem with this is my encouragement to other people. When you are watching somebody that you really love and care about, they're not pushing themselves to their best. They're not trying. They're not doing the best that they can. You want them to do better. You want them to do well. You just want to see them move. And I'm sure when I was going through my depressive state, people felt the same way about me. Um, And it's like, yo, once this person has this, or once this happens, then we'll be good. Or once this happens, then we'll be good. And I feel like it's the same thing with friendships. It's the same thing with family. It's the same thing. Like, it's like you're just kind of waiting for this journey to just get to this spot. And my thing is, when you get to that spot, what else is going to happen now? It's not going to it's not going to stop, because once you reach a milestone, you're going to constantly think about the next thing. I realize that sometimes we don't even bask in what we've accomplished. It's like next step, right? It's like, okay, I got my house. Okay, well, now I need my man. It's like, damn. Well, girl, did you even put the light bulbs up before you started talking about him? Like, can we get the house furnished? Or maybe feeling like, you know what, I'm gonna save every single dollar because I want to I don't know, since we're talking about homes, I want to put a down payment on a home. So even though my current space is not the prettiest right now, I'm just going to save money for a whole year and a half, and that's it. And for me, it's like, well, why can't you make the space you're in right now beautiful while you're saving money for your new home? Why do you have to suffer right now? Right? These are the things that came to my mind, because I'm like, wow, I do have an if and when attitude. And how can I shift it now? So I feel like it's something that was a thought that really made me think about a lot of areas in my life, and how when we do that, it really does diminish our accomplishments. It really diminishes what we have succeeded in doing. It diminishes the present moment. Like, we're not here because we're constantly forward thinking. And I think about how there are certain times where I would go out and I would have such a good time. I would have such a good time. But then I'm thinking about what I didn't do and what I don't have. And sometimes we do that when we compare. And it's so difficult because it's like, okay, don't compare, don't compare, don't compare. But it's kind of hard to not compare for people, because when you're surrounded by greatness, you might think to yourself, like, yo, when am I going to do this? When am I going to do that? And it's like, yes, you have to focus on yourself. Everybody's journey is different. We can't look at one person and assume anything, right? All we can do is try to make the space that we're in right now suitable for us. And how do we do that? How do we provide that comfort? How do we soothe ourselves? So, in my session, I'm really thinking to myself, like, wow, I really had a situation where I'm like, when this happens, I'm going to feel so much better. And it's like, are you though? Are you going to feel better? Or is something else going to come up that you're going to feel like, okay, I need this to happen and that to happen? And I just feel like life is so interesting. Life is so delicate. The time, oh my gosh, every single day, I'm like, the time is moving so fast. It's moving so fast. I feel like I wake up in the morning and I go to sleep. Like, that's what it feels like. It's like the day I wake up, it's like "Broop," and then I'm sleeping again. It just happens so quickly. And I'm like, what is happening? What is going on with the time? So I also have this issue with a race against time, and I don't want to waste it. And I think when you have overcame something really difficult, and you're at this place where you're making a deciding factor, like, I want to live. Like, I will tell you guys, completely honest, full transparency, I feel like I'm starting to live right now. I think the past 3 years I have been surviving, and I have been a robotic, and I have been doing things like, okay, step one, step two, step three. That's what I've been doing. I think for me, going through grief and dealing with that put me in a space where this was very unfamiliar territory for me, and I'm just like, I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm doing, and it wasn't really with full intention. I don't know. I struggle with saying that because I was intentional, because I was getting the help that I needed to, keep going, but I wasn't I was not really thinking about my life. It was more so like, how can I go through the day kind of thing, and not thinking about what do I want out of this life? And I'm at this place right now where I'm thinking to myself, what do I really want out of life? I feel like I'm at a place where I can really live. And I thought I was present, right? Because when I go to the park and I'm sitting and I'm thinking and I'm writing in my journal and I'm talking to friends and I'm spending time with friends and family, and I feel so full when I'm with friends and family, and there's so many wonderful things happening. I'm back on the podcast, I'm blogging, I'm, making connections. I'm getting really great feedback from people about everything that I've been doing lately. And it's really nice. It feels really great to be validated because when you're doing something, you don't know if it makes sense to other people. You just don't know if it resonates. So when I hear feedback that whatever I'm saying has helped, I'm happy because I'll tell you guys, this podcast is a space for me to share information, to offer you another perspective based on what I have experienced or what I have seen. And because I'm always giving advice to friends and family, it's like I want to bring this information to you guys. So every episode is from an experience, and I'm growing. I'm growing. And I like to be positive. I like to think of things on the better end of the spectrum. But just because you're positive does not mean that you don't get tight. It doesn't mean that you don't go through things. It doesn't mean that your emotions are not out of whack sometimes, because it definitely is. So this really took me for a loop. And when this conversation happened, the first thing I thought about was I need to bring this to the podcast. I need to let my audience know that I don't think we're doing this right. I think I think it's good to be forward thinking. I think it's good to have goals and dreams and manifest and affirmations. I think that's phenomenal. But I'm questioning, like, yo, am I really present? Or am I so focused on the journey to get to happiness that I'm not fully immersing myself with life right now? As I've shared, my belief system is not the best. I consider myself to be a person of positivity. I want to live life fully. And I think that my belief system prohibits me from doing that. And I'm really working on that. I'm on a quest for it. And that's why I have like the manifestation episodes, the solo manifestation staycation. If you have not listened to that episode, check it out, but just really believing that I can have the life that I've always wanted, because why not? I'm surrounded by people who are doing phenomenal things. And I will say, your circle, I know we hear this all the time, but that is a vital, vital, vital piece of information that's going to aid in your journey for sure. Oh, okay. Talking to the right people, not the ones who just want to call and they talk the whole time. You can't get a word in. Not the ones who don't listen. Not the ones who are not asking you questions. Not the ones as soon as you talk to them on the phone, they got 1,000 things going on. No, 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 no. Oh, that is so annoying. No, not them. But talking to the right people who can recalibrate you. I constantly need recalibration. And I'm so grateful that in addition to therapy, in addition to my grief counselor that I still speak to, in addition to my grief group that I still go to, I have really, really great people in my life, really great friends, really great family members that I can talk to who could say, Erica, I don't know if you should look at it like that. Look at it like this, like very hopeful, because I find that sometimes we lose hope. Like, let's just keep it real. Like, sometimes we lose hope. And I'm on this quest now, as I've stated earlier, where I'm like, I want to live now. I want to live my life. I want to be intentional. I want to be, I want to give what I'm doing my all. This is why I'm so consistent with the podcast every week. I blog, like I do a lot. And there's somebody who told me to do this. I made a decision to do a podcast episode every Tuesday, every Friday, and do a blog every Saturday. That is a lot. In addition to social media, in addition to me learning a lot of things, like eventually I want to start having interviews and I want to add video. So there's a lot of things that I'm working on, and I'm happy to work on these things. But that's me. I gave myself that schedule because I'm like, I want to give myself my all. I have a platform, I have a mic, and I want to use it in the right way. And I want to grow my brand. I want this to be a successful business and I want to help people. I want to do so many things with you guys, like so many goals that I want to do with you guys for real. Like, and I want to believe that I could do it because I've been so down and low and sad and comparing and watching people. And I'm like, oh my God, this person's doing this and this person's doing that. And here I am grieving, and I'm not doing this and I'm not doing that. I will say that I will take accountability for my inability to move. I'll take accountability for that. I struggle with that theme while I was grieving, but and the grief is something that you're gonna constantly just live with. So I accept that. But I'm just like, I want to live. If I'm saying the right things and I put myself in the right environment and I work on myself on a daily basis and I'm consistent with the podcast, I'm consistent with posting, I'm consistent with having really wonderful conversations about my partner. I'm consistent with connecting and fostering relationships with people to learn. I'm consistently praying and talking to God and letting him know how I really feel because he's the one that's going to change everything anyway. Once I do these things, then that's what's going to happen. And at that point, I'm not really focused on if and when, I'm focused on now. I feel good now. I will say that I am more present when I go out with my friends, when I'm doing things on my own. Like I went to the park. And when I tell you, like, I noticed everything. Like, the breeze was amazing. The sun was amazing. My beverage that I think I had like a strawberry lemonade. That was amazing. I had my flip flops on. It was beautiful. The weather was great, and I just felt really good. So I felt present then. That's why I'm like, yo, I am present physically, but I realize emotionally, I still have work to do. Because if and when, what does that mean? You got to live your life now. I want to be happy now so I can meet my partner happy, right? Because what I don't want to do is have all of these unrealistic expectations that no human being can meet. No one is going to make you happy all the time. And I don't want to base my happiness on anybody. I don't. I want to be present and be good and feel joy and be happy with myself fully right now. And as my man comes in and enters my life, he sees me flourishing in that way. And I am going to be happy when he comes. I ain't going to lie. Like, I'm going to be mad hype. Hey, boo, you miss me. You love me. I love you too. Oh my God. But sorry, you guys, I have to drink some water. Mm-mm. Not in the middle of me recording. Okay. But I want to be present and I don't want to hold on to if this happens, then I'll be happy. When this happens, then I'll be happy. More so like looking forward to things happening and changing. Um, but I don't want to hold on to it like that. So this revelation was so fresh in my mind. And I'm like, wow, this is really real. So there is a woman who had a TED talk. Her name is Ingrid Fattel Lee. And then she said, a joy killer is these four words: I'll be happy when. She said that's a joy killer. And it's true. It's so true. I'll be happy once this happens. When I lose weight, then I'll wear the swimsuit. When I gain weight, that's when I'll do this. When I cut my hair, that's when I'll do that. If this happens, if I get a promotion, then I'm going to feel better. And you realize too, right? Celebrities, how many interviews have we seen of people saying, I thought fame was going to make me happy? I thought that being number one was going to make me happy. I recently saw a really, really great um, speech from somebody who was valedictorian. I don't remember if he was in college or in high school. And he said that he did all this work for these past 4 years for this little moment that's done. And he realized, like, all of this for what? Like, I'm happy that I did this, but he talked about how he wasn't present. All he was focused on was, I need to be valedictorian. Now he got it. And he talked about missing out on a lot of experiences with other students, and because he was so gun ho on just focusing on being valedictorian. And you realize a lot of celebrities are just so gun ho about being number one. Then you get to number one and it fades. And now what happens? You are a multi-millionaire and you are miserable. You are miserable. And I thought about, they go through the if and when syndrome as well. I don't know if it's a syndrome, but I'm calling it that. The if and when syndrome. When I become number one, I'm going to be happy. If I make $10 million, I'm going to be happy. But here's what happens when you make 10, now the next year you want to make 15 and then 20. And then it's like, when is it going to stop? Like, when are you going to be happy? When are you going to be happy? So I'm choosing to be present emotionally as well as physically. I will say, I am so present with my family and my friends. I love when I have good times with my girls. I love when I see my cousins. I love when I'm with my brother and my sister and my mom. I love simplicity, you know, just having a good conversation on the phone, getting a drink or getting a coffee with somebody and just having that moment of just being. I absolutely cherish those moments. And I take pictures and I'm just like really holding on to memories because life is moving so fast. So, because life is moving so fast, we don't have the time to focus on that journey. And I'm talking about you and me, right? I'm going through this revelation as I'm talking to y'all. Like I was bursting to get to the mic because I'm like, I need to share this. But like, I don't want to live my life to just be like, oh, when I get my man. Like, that's not the only thing that I need. What about myself? What about me? I don't want to have a joy killer. I know that life throws a lot of curveballs and all of that, but when the game is going right, I want to be in the audience smiling and I want to be happy. I want to do backflips. I don't want to ruin my opportunity to experience joy to the full extent, not half, but to the full extent. And I was like, no, I need to shift my emotional thought process of if and when and focus on, yeah, I'll be happy. But today I'm happy. Today I feel good. Today I'm excited because I'm excited for what's to come. We need to shift that if and when and be sad about it to, I can't wait. I'm going to be so happy when this happens. However, I am happy right now because we are, right? If you think about all the things you're grateful for, you can think about 100 things right now. If you really think about it, more than 100 things, because it's not just a phrase. It's challenging the mindset. So Miss Lee said, when you say I'll be happy when, what you are really saying is I can't be happy right now. Because there's no way I could be happy now, right? Because I don't have X, Y, and Z. And how can gratitude come in now? You're already blocking that because you are saying, well, I don't have this, so I'm not happy. I have done that and I still do that. So I still do that and I just don't want to do it anymore. You know, when you make a decision, you come to this realization and you're like, nah, 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 nah. No, 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 no. Mm-mm, mm-mm, mm-mm. The way that I'm living, I got to shift it because it's not good for my health. It's not good for my life. It's not good for my mental. It's not good for the days that I have here on this earth. It's not good for anything. I love to encourage other people. I love to see other people do well, but it's like, what about me, my mindset? And I've been so into myself and where I'm at and wanting to live and having goals and being excited about them, but still wanting to be present and not so focused on the destination. But like people always say, it's the journey. The journey is what's the beautiful part. Because when I do get my man, I'm gonna be like, yo, where were you? Okay, where were you We was waiting for you for a long time, for years. Okay? Because dating is a whatever, but you want your boo, you want your man, and you want your even the house that I want. The house, the goals that I have to get this home. Um, just how I want to live my life, traveling, my health, my friends, my family, God, talking to him and believing that he could do it. Like when I tell you guys, I wasn't shocked, but I was like, yo, like, is this really is this what I'm really doing right now? Like, is this what I'm doing? I'm so fixated on the milestone. I'm so fixated on the milestone. And it's like when it happens though, now what? Right? Now what? So yes, we can manifest. And I talked about this too with so I manifested now what? Literally, literally. And it's like, okay, yeah, you want all these things, but now when you have it, what are you gonna do now? Right? How do you maintain it? How do you make it grow? Now what? And then what's the next step? Right? There's always something else that we need to accomplish. So it's like, why don't we just take a step back? How about we not look at other people and their journeys? We don't know what they've been through. We don't know what the real story is because people don't share the full story. They don't tell you everything. They tell you certain parts. They might share certain things to the story, but you don't know what happened between this person's relationship or not. You don't know the things that they've been through as a couple and how they overcame it. You don't know what's happening with people in their employment. You don't know what's happening emotionally to a lot of people. You don't know what thoughts they're going through. Sometimes people don't share everything. We only see what people want us to see. We only hear what people want us to hear. And then, when you're going through a shift, because right now I feel like I'm going through a shift. I feel like I'm going through a shift. I feel like I'm at the precipice of something happening like soon, you know? Something is happening soon. I feel like I'm going to uncover something really big. And the only responsibility that I have is to be honest with myself so that I can do the appropriate work. Because you can't do the right work if you're not honest, right? I had to come to terms with, yes, I do have an if and when attitude. Yes, I do have black and white attitude sometimes. Yes, my belief system is fractured. Yes, I do forward thinking. I do get concerned and I do get emotional and I do get upset. And yes, yes, yes. Um, yes, I think about the past and I wonder if whatever happened to me in the past will debilitate me in the future. These are all things that comes to my mind, but I can say it with you guys and I can honestly say like I need to put this in the forefront so that I can get to better. And I feel like I'm on the way. I'm at this place of like discovery, this place of like understanding people, looking at people differently, understanding that relationships are not the same for everybody. Friendships, people do not value friendships and relationships the way that I do. We're going to get to that. They don't. Um Support, you know, and all the things that I want to accomplish and I put in my mind like, "Oh, maybe I'm not going to get it. Maybe it's not going to happen for me." And it's like if I say that, then it won't. Then it won't. You guys have seen, right? Doctors will always say this. When somebody is sick and they're going through a procedure or cancer or anything, when they're sick, they always talk about how the doctors say they see huge improvements with these people based on how their mind is. If you're just negative and angry all the time, you're not going to heal fast. You're not. But if you shift your mindset, all of a sudden you start to see that the healing is a little faster, better, and it lasts a little bit longer. So the phrase of I'll be happy when I get through blank, I'll feel better. If I had blank, life would be great. That phrase is a mindset. And what it does is it keeps us from not cultivating real joy right now. That's what it does. In pursuit of trying to get to happiness and trying to get to this place, we want to get to this journey, this destination. It allows us to be paused. We don't see beauty anymore. We just see gray because it's like I don't have what I want. And I want to challenge you, and I'm challenging myself to still have goals. We still need to have goals. We still need to be inspired. Please be around the right people, talk to the right people. Be very careful of who you are vulnerable with, because that could also mess you up with your belief system. And let's say if you feel like, oh, when I get my man, I don't know. Oh yeah, me too. And, and now you now you guys are just both in it for like weeks, days, years, you know? So be very mindful of that, because I definitely am. And once we get into that place of knowing what we want and being excited for it, I think the shifting energy still could be like, I really want X, I really want this in my life, and I want to get solutions to get to X, but I'm good right now, but this is what I would like. I feel like if we kind of switch it in that place, and if we add like excitement, like, oh, I can't wait until X and whatever happens, because now you're putting it out there that it is going to happen. I feel like it's going to switch something else within us, and it won't be so like depressing and sad and oh my God. And, it won't be like that. So I feel like I'm at this place, like after having this revelation and going through emotional residue, I'm definitely gonna have another session about this, because I'm like, sis, my therapist loves doing that. She'd be like, just a food for thought. And I'm like, no, girl, you're giving me Thanksgiving dinner with all of the trimmings and all of the sides. Okay. This is what you're doing right now. But it is something that I'm like, wow, this is what I'm doing. And my issue with acceptance of accepting people for who they are, which I realize I have a problem with that. Yeah, I have a problem with that. And I have to work on that, because what people do is not my business. You know what I'm saying? Like, whatever you want to do, girl, that's your problem. It's not my problem. But because I'm such a because I care so much, and I love people. I love my friends. I love my family. It's hard for me to like not care. So I want to challenge us to rethink rethink the process to the destination. I think it's awesome for us to still have a destination spot, but I want to rethink it. I'm on that way of rethinking it. And I don't know if you feel this way, this if and when syndrome and everything like that. But let's really try our best to reshape it to excitement. I can't wait till I get my new car. I can't wait till I get this job. I can't wait until my business is growing. It's going to be great. Right now, I really need to work on X, Y, and Z. I've learned that when you get excited for something, you are a lot faster to solutions. When you are sad and depressed, all you think about is negative things. But when you're excited for something, you think about solutions. So right now, I'm like, yo, I can't wait to get on my podcast and talk to everybody. I can't wait for my brand to grow. But right now, I'm gonna get on this episode and somebody's gonna listen. It's gonna be great. So I feel like we need to do that. We need to switch it to excitement, switch it to like I can't wait to get here and I'm excited to get there, because I know that I will get there. I know that I will get there.